The morning started like any other for Emily Tran, the steady hum of the Somerset County Emergency Management Center wrapping around her like a familiar blanket. She sat at her console, eyes scanning the blinking status lights, when a voice sliced through her earpiece, sharp and urgent. EOC, this is Fieldcom. Multiple reports of a structure fire at Willow Creek Estates Clubhouse. Flames VY Cybele, heavy smoke. Callers say people are trapped inside. Emily froze. Her heart lurched. Willow Creek. Her dad, Henry Wong, was there today at his weekly retired engineer's lunch, a ritual he never missed. The man lived for routine, his life a grid of precision. Now, he was caught in a nightmare. Emily, the chief of operations, was used to bending chaos into order, but this wasn't just a call. It was personal. Her voice stayed calm, a practiced mask. Copy, Fieldcom. What's the on-scene assessment? Entry points? Victim count. She was already MOVYing, grabbing her go bag, her mind racing through protocols and worst-case scenarios. Her husband, de VYD, a captain with Somerset Fire Rescue, would be on one of the first trucks. The thought of him charging into danger while her dad was trapped twisted her gut. Comfort in his skill, terror for his life. The radio crackled. Engine 5, Captain Tran commanding, reports main egress points compromised. Locked or barricaded from the outside. Crews attempting forcible entry. Heavy fire, 20 to 30 Indy VY duels inside, mostly seniors. Locked. Barricaded. The words hit like a fist. This wasn't an accident. Someone had turned the clubhouse into a death trap. Emily's mind flashed to Margaret Heller, the HOA president of Willow Creek Estates. She'd met her at community events, polished, ruthless, with eyes like a hawk and a smile that never reached them. Heller had big plans for the upscale retirement community, plans that sidelined its older, less wealthy residents like Henry. All county resources to Willow Creek. Emily barked, her voice steel. I'm en route to establish forward command. Patch me into the incident commander channel. She tore out of the EOC, siren screaming as she wove through traffic. Her dad's face haunted her. 72, widowed, sharp as ever, a retired aerospace engineer who loved soul VYing problems. He wouldn't panic. He'd analyze. But fire didn't care about logic. It devoured. The radio painted a grim picture. The fire was spreading too fast, fed by something unnatural and accelerant. Exits were sealed, not just locked but padlocked, chaining the elderly inside. The VYD's unit was leading the interior attack, and Emily's fear spiked. Her husband, father of their 2 kids, was in that inferno, while her dad choked on smoke. Their children, Sophie and Ethan, were safe at school, but they were her silent prayer as she pushed forward. When Emily reached Willow Creek, the scene was hellish beauty. The clubhouse, once a symbol of the community's charm, with a beast of bang wallowing in flames. Orange and black claws tore through the roof, spitting sparks into the bruised sky. Smoke choked the air, thick and oily. Residents huddled in shocked clusters, their cries a desperate chorus. Firefighters battled the blaze, silhouettes against a dragon's roar. Emily found the command post, where the VYD, face streaked with soot, was shouting orders. Doors were bolted shut, he told her, gripping her arm. Heavy padlocks, brand new. And a gas leak in the kitchenette flashed over, spread like wildfire. His eyes held relief and dread. Your dad's in the main dining hall. Emily's heart seized. No sign yet, the VYD said, his voice heavy. But we're focusing there. We won't stop. She nodded, swallowing terror, and stepped into her role. The wind, the fire's path, the building's stability, she assessed it all, her training a lifeline. Then she saw her, Margaret Heller, standing by a pristine rose garden, untouched by ash. She was talking to a detective, her silk suit immaculate, her face a mask of tragic calm. A lace handkerchief dabbed at dry eyes. A terrible accident. Emily lip-read as Heller spoke to a reporter. Old gas lines. We upgraded security due to vandalism. Lies. Emily's fear hardened into fury. Her dad had been digging into the HOA's finances, suspicious of Heller's La VYSH projects. Had he gotten too close? 3 weeks ago, at an HOA meeting, Henry had stood up, his voice steady, and torn into Heller's Willow Creek Renaissance Initiative. It would gut senior programs, limit Clubhouse access, and turn it into a luxury spa for wealthy newcomers. He'd called it greed, ageism, a betrayal of the community's heart. Others joined him, their frail voices rising. Heller's mask had slipped, her sneer venomous. "You'll regret this, Mr. Wong," she'd hissed. Now, those words echoed with murderous intent. Firefighters fought through collapsing walls, pulling out survivors one by one. Soot blackened, trembling, alive. But no Henry. Minutes bled into eternity. Then a crackle on the radio. Found one in the West Lounge, under debris. Male, 70s, unconscious but responsive. It's Henry Wong. Emily's knees buckled. A tear cut through the grime on her cheek. He was alive. Firefighters carried him out, his face barely recognizable, silver hair singed orange. His eyes flickered open, finding hers. "Emily," he rasped, coughing. "Locked." They were all locked. The paramedics rushed him away, but his words ignited her resolve. Heller would pay. 14 survivors were rescued, all elderly, all battered by smoke and burns, but alive. The clubhouse was a charred ruin, a monument to a massacre barely averted. Heller stuck to her story, faulty wiring, a prank gone wrong. She feigned shock about the padlocks, her alibi polished, at her lawyer's office all morning. But her eyes, meeting Emily's, glinted with defiance. The arson team found gasoline and chemical enhancers poured at key points, designed to burn fast and hot. The padlocks were new, not in any maintenance logs. This was planned, a slaughter meant to look like tragedy. Heller fought back, hiring a ruthless legal team and a PR firm with HOA funds Henry had questioned. Stories popped up, blaming the city's response. Hinting Emily's emotional involvement skewed her judgment, even suggesting the seniors caused the fire with heaters. She blocked access to HOA records, building a fortress of lies. But Emily, recused from the investigation, ensured Detective Leasing Nguyen had every resource. She knew Heller's type: arrogant, untouchable. That arrogance would be her undoing. The break came from Tim Carter, a jittery HOA accountant. Shaking, he handed Nguyen a USB drive. He documented Heller's embezzlement HOA funds funneled to cover her gambling debts, disguised as community expenses. She was drowning in debt, her La VYSH lifestyle a facade. Worse, she'd taken out a massive insurance policy on the clubhouse, covering total destruction. The motive snapped into focus. Burn the clubhouse, kill the seniors, claim the payout, clear the land for her husband's luxury condos. The deaths would silence opposition and justify redevelopment. It was monstrous. The city council called an emergency hearing, the public baying for answers. Heller, flanked by lawyers, spoke first, a tearful act of a grieving leader betrayed by shoddy city Sarah VYSS in a witch hunt led by Emily. But Emily was ready. She stepped to the podium, documents in hand. "This is about EVY Denke, not fabrications," she said, her voice ablaze. Screens lit up with proof. Melted padlocks, accelerant patterns, the tampered gas lines, Heller's insurance policy. Then Tim's records, exposing her theft and debts. Finally, a gas station VY Deo, time-stamped hours before the fire, showed a woman Heller's build, her scarf, her handbag buying gasoline canisters. The scarf was found burned near the clubhouse's back entrance. The chamber gasped. Heller's face, broadcast in HD, collapsed from smug to panicked. Her lawyers scrambled, but the tide had turned. Nguyen stepped forward. "Margaret Heller, you're under arrest for attempted murder, arson, conspiracy, insurance fraud, and embezzlement." Officers cuffed her as she screamed. "It's a setup. She's doing this for her father." Her empire of greed crumbled in a public implosion. Heller's bail was denied, her trial a spectacle. The gas station clerk ID'd her. Tim testified, tearful, about her callousness. Henry, recovering slowly, spoke of her threats, his voice firm despite his cough. She was guilty on all counts, sentenced to life without parole. Her husband's deals tanked. He fled the country. The HOA was gutted, replaced by a resident council. The insurance money funded VY care and a new clubhouse, designed with senior input. Henry led the rebuild, his engineer's mind ensuring safety and warmth. He even started a fire safety committee, his dry humor intact. A year later, Henry stood on the new clubhouse's foundation, addressing the community. He spoke of resilience, not revenge, of a community that refused to be extinguished. Emily watched, the scars of that day still raw. The fire had tested her daughter, wife, leader, and she'd endured. Justice wasn't just Heller's cell. It was this, a community rising from ash stronger, kinder, V.Y. Gillant. The flames were gone, replaced by construction's hum, laughter, and hope. So what do you think? Was Heller's arrogance her real downfall? Or did she underestimate the community's strength? Should Emily have pushed harder for justice sooner, knowing her dad's suspicions? And what would you do if you uncovered a scandal like this in your own neighborhood? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you on edge.